Hello, I am Mystic Orange and this is video hashtag 578. In this video, I'm going to continue doing my Winx Club rewrite. I had so much fun making the first episode of this rewrite. I feel satisfied about the outcome. So this is going to be episode 2. The last episode was the first episode, and that was a bit more a bit more slice of life. I wanted to keep the first episode slice of life and the second episode a bit more magical. I'm so excited. Anyway, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. Also, I want to state that because I forgot to mention it, make sure to check out my previous episode. Season 1, Episode 2, The Princess of Solaria. So I've chosen this title for this episode. There are a few reasons why I wanted to choose this title. The first reason is because I want this episode to be Stella-centric. For this episode, we're going to meet Stella, we're going to learn a bit about her, and yeah, it's going to be about Stella. The second reason is because in Focus Season 2, Episode 2, it's called The Princess of Tides. Or Princess of Tides, and it is a Layla-centric episode. To me, I think that's a clever idea, and I wanted to adopt the idea for this episode and have it a bit more Stella focused. So therefore, it's called The Princess of Solaria. For this episode, it's going to be 2nd of September. The last episode was 1st of September. Important things to know about this day. For this episode, it's Musa's birthday. I've changed the birthdays of each Winx girls, and Musa's birthday is going to be 2nd of September, which means right now she's 12 years old. We have not introduced to Musa yet. Of course, she's going to be introduced later on in the future episodes. And I decided that Misa's birthday is going to be 2nd of September because, first of all, I wanted her birthday to be September. I associate September as an autumn month, and I associate Misa with autumn. When it's autumn, it's a bit more windier, which means there's a bit more noisiness in September. Like, not in a bad way, it's in a good way. Like, you hear the sound of the wind whistling. And that's how I associate September with Musa. So, yeah, I wanted her birthday to be September. I've also decided what the other Winx's birthday might be. I've decided Techno would be December, like she was in her original. Layla's birthday is going to be January. Flora's birthday is going to be April, and Bloom's birthday is going to be June or July. I'm not sure. Stella's going to be July. I haven't fully decided when their birthday is going to be. I will think about those, but I've already decided when Misa's birthday is going to be, and it's 2nd of September. I also think it's a neat idea that Misa's the oldest of these girls. She always strikes me as the most mature one of the Winx girls, and I think she might have the grown-up energy because when she's especially when she's interacting with Stella, especially when she's telling Stella off for being immature, Misa's the person who would do this. I know the age doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters, but I think it's just how you present yourself. Also, in the original dub, like Stella is a year older than everyone else. In this version, I'm gonna have everyone be the same age. Just for me, I think this is a simple way to show their ages. I don't want Stella to be a year older than them and be immature as well. Again, I don't think age really matters. I don't think the numbers don't matter. It's who you are as a person. Of course, like if you're older than someone, that doesn't mean you're more mature than them. Also, in addition, I always associate seasons with these characters. Muses, I associate with autumn, so I've chosen September. Tekna and Layla strike me as winter type fairies. Because, Tekna, she's from Zenith, which snows a lot, and Layla, she's with water, right, and it turns to snow. So, like, I associate them with winter. Flora I associate with spring, obviously. She's the nature girly. And Bloom and Stella I associate with summer, obviously. Like heat and light, that's summer. That's it. Also, another thing to add, the school year starts at 4th of September. When I started year 7 in school, I started my first year 4th of September. I think that's how most students started their school years. So Mitzi in Gardenia, she will be attending her school on 4th of September. Everyone will be starting their school at 4th of September. Just to keep me, simple, I will try to base it off of my how I experience school. I don't know how schools are like in other countries. This is why I wanted it this way. I hope this is clear to you guys. So the episode will start. We're still in Gardenia, obviously. For this bit, we're gonna have Bloom leaving her home. She's saying goodbye her to mother, and her mother says goodbye back. She tells Bloom to stay safe. Mike is already at work, and Vanessa is about to leave after Bloom. We're going to have good background music score in this scene, like from the Focus Dub. I like the background music from Focus Dub. It's always cheerful. While Bloom stands out from her home, she's with her bike and she puts on her helmet, which is a blue helmet. Kiko is already in Bloom's basket on her bike, and she has a couple of apples in her basket. And what will she do today? She's gonna go to the park. Yes, we're gonna have the Focus opening for this scene. The first episode had the Ray version of the opening, and this version it has the Focus opening, which is great. And eventually, we're gonna have Blue meet Stella, but let's focus on the present. So she puts on her helmet and rides off. Also, I want to mention, if I forget, make sure you watch the previous episode so you understand what's happening in this episode. So Bloom is riding her blue bike with the basket with Kiko across Gardenia. We're gonna have the Focus bit. We're gonna have this man calling out to Bloom and tell Bloom that make sure she says hi to her mother for him. This man is Mr. Gennaro. And who is Mr. Gennaro? This is something that Focus has, which I think is really fun. To me, I think Mr. Gennaro would be the neighbor. So I think, that would be him. So we're going to definitely have that. So in the next part of the scene, we're at the Gardenias Park. We're going to try to make this similar to both the Ray and the Focus. Even though, I don't think there's much difference between the Ray and the Focus about this scene. Bloom finds a bench to sit on, and she eats an apple and some chocolate bars. She's going to tell Kiko to go off to find some acorn for himself. And she tells Kiko to not to go too far. So you get a bit of both Ray and Focus dialogue here. I think we're gonna have the Gardenia Park look nice. We're gonna have the kids area. There's going to be swings, there's going to be slides, there's going to be roundabouts, climbing frame, seesaws. You know it. There's also going to be a skateboard section, and also like flowers are about. It's a park. People selling hot dogs and ice cream in the past. And also there's going to be fields, trees. That's the Gardenia Park for you. Also, we're gonna call this a park Gardenia City Park. What would you name this park? Let us know in the comments. So Bloom tells Kiko to head off to the park to get some acorn and stay safe. Like I said before, few seconds later, Kiko comes running back shitless. We're going to have the focused dialogue of Bloom wondering if Kiko got chased by squirrels again. I find it funny that this rabbit is scared of squirrels. Anyway, Kiko tucks Bloom's trousers and lets her follow her to the scary scene. So they run over. So as Bloom enters the park, she can't believe what she is seeing. Kiko is scared and he faints. She notices a girl named Stella who is a fairy, and there's an ogre named Nut and four ghouls. You decide what their name's going to be. Just for laughs, I'm going to name them after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I'm going to have Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. So they're not all going to be red colored ghouls. One of them is going to be red, obviously. That's Raphael. But we're going to have a blue one, purple one, and the yellow one. Just like in the original, Nut is going to command the ghouls to go after Stella. So the Donatello one jumps over to leap onto Stella. However, Stella manages to blast the ghoul away. She uses a rising light burst to kill Donatello. And Donatello blasts everywhere. Bloom is astonished by what she is seeing, and she looks at Kiko and wonders if they both can't be seeing things. So the second ghoul, the Michelangelo ghoul, tries to jump onto Stella. However, he is next to seal his fate. With her scepter, Stella uses a shining wind blast. This sends the Michelangelo ghoul flying towards Nut. And then Nut crushes the ghoul with his bare hands. So Nut really didn't care about this ghoul. He thought this ghoul was useless anyway. Stella orders the villains to stay back. She says, "Stay back, you villain. As a princess of Solaria, I'm so going to flatten you." So basically, I merged both the Ray dialogue and the Fox's dialogue together. And then Nut rages from the distance and he charges towards Stella. And he tells her she's the one who's going to get flattened. Nut yells at the ghouls to get Stella's scepter. So Raphael manages to get hold of Stella and Nut snatches the scepter off Stella. And then Nut, tells Stella that she's history. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Bloom steps up to try to help Stella. Like, she could not see this any more longer. With her instincts, she needed to help her. It's kind of like her human instincts to help her. But what is she gonna do? She's not a fairy. To her, she's just a human. So Nut is annoyed at Bloom for meddling in. She should mind her own business. So the Raphael ghoul charges towards Bloom. Out of nowhere, Bloom creates a force field, bursting the ghoul. She can't believe what she's done. Like, did she do this? What the heck? Like, wait, she has magic powers? This is incredible. Then the Leonardo ghoul tries to go and attack Kiko, but Bloom catches the ghoul and she hits it with her stick. Now that all the ghouls are dead, Nut is outraged. He tries to grab Bloom by the arms and tries to crush her, but with desperation, Bloom sends out a huge dragon coming out of her and it attacks Nut. He accidentally drops the scepter. Nut is low in energy, he feels defeated. So Nut is down, he's defeated, and Bloom is exhausted from that blast. And Stella, helps her up. She tells Bloom that she's got major wings, and Bloom doesn't understand what she's saying. Stella herself doesn't have enough energy herself, but she commands Nut to leave, or else she's gonna defeat him. Besides, he has no chance with his low energy. Stella tries to threaten him with her scepter and her light, but Nut, gives in and he leaves. After Nut leaves, Stella gets exhausted and she's low on energy, and for that she falls to the ground fainting. She is completely exhausted. And when she's falling down, she's not going to wear that dress from the original. I don't know why she's wearing that dress. This isn't a prom. So she's going to wear her normal civilian outfit she wears in season 1. And if you want to, you can create your own civilian outfit for the Winx girls. You can share it in the comment section if you want to. I will allow you guys to share your links to the Winx own outfits. I guess that's the homework for you guys. Anyway, have fun. So while Stella's on the ground, Bloom is concerned. This girl needs help, so she tries to take Stella home. And then the scene fades to black, moving on to the next scene. So anyway, let's continue. But I want to say something here. I know in the original though, both Ray and and Focus, they do have this scene with not Icy and the other girls. However, we're not gonna have this scene here, at least not right now. Maybe a bit down the line, but we're not gonna have it here. And I've mentioned this before, like, this is going to be a Stella-centric episode, so we're gonna have the next scenes more Stella-focused. Like, let's get to know her better. Anyway, Bloom carries Stella while holding the bike with Kiko on it. They head towards the entrance of the Gardenia City Park. Bloom wonders how she can get Stella home. Then she has an idea. She can just call Mr. Gennaro. She calls Mr. Gennaro to pick her up, and he sends her, Kiko and Stella, all the way to her home. When she is at home, Bloom places Stella on the sofa. Kiko goes off to the kitchen to eat his carrots. Stella is asleep on the sofa. Bloom wonders what she's going to do. Mike and Vanessa aren't home yet. So while she waits, she puts on some TV on. She watches Hannah Montana. She phones her mother and explains what happened. As soon as Vanessa and Mike come home during the evening, Bloom explains everything to them. So Stella spends the whole day sleeping. So it's the next day. Bloom is sleeping on her bed. However, she gets woken up by her mother again. Stella is still sleeping in the living room. Vanessa and Mike are still in disbelief about Bloom's story. Like, magic, fairies, how are these things are true? But just to get off the story a bit, in my opinion, I think Vanessa might pretend like they don't believe in magic, but I think they do because of, like, maybe when Bloom was young, Bloom has shown signs of magics, And they don't want to like they know magic exists. So this is how they will be acting like they don't believe in magic. What the heck is this? She goes downstairs with Mike and Vanessa and explaining things again. Mike wonders if he needs to call the doctor or something because Stella looks like she needs help, and it seems like Bloom also needs help as well because he thinks Bloom is going crazy. Also, I want to say like Bloom doesn't know that she has magic, but maybe she's been using magic unknowingly. And this is what Daphne in her dream has been directing in her ever since. Anyway, Kiko is sleeping upstairs, and because of the discussions between Bloom and Mike and Vanessa, Stella kind of overhear it in her sleep, and she is ready to wake up again. So she wakes up off her sofa and she sees Vanessa, Mike, and Bloom standing there. Vanessa asks how Stella is doing, and Stella says she's fine. Vanessa goes off to prepare breakfast for these people. She asks Stella what she wants, and Stella doesn't mind much. So Vanessa makes four croissants for everyone, which jam in between, as well as she brews some tea for everyone. So while they headed towards the dining table to eat the croissants and drink the tea, Stella thanks Bloom for saving her in the Gardenia City Park. Basically, whatever happened in the sofa area in both the Fockers and Cineroom is happening in this dining room. Vanessa asks Stella what her name is, and Stella reveals herself. Stella is a fairy from Solaria. She got attacked by the monsters in the park. We've all seen it. I don't have to explain it to you. You've seen the events. So she's from. She's gonna go to Magix to learn about being a fairy. It's her secondary school. They all greet each other, but like Mike is like, "What the hell is she saying? She must be going nuts." Mind you, like Stella and Bloom are 11 years old, so Mike is like, "Oh, you must be kids, like you must be in your imaginations." Mike heads towards the telephone to try to call a doctor or something to check in on Stella or Bloom, to see if they're healthy. He just doesn't believe it, and Vanessa doesn't either. Like deep down, they know it's real, but like they don't want to believe it. With a true comedic fashion, Stella turns the phone and the machine into cabbages and carrots. Bon appetit, she says. I mean, do they believe her now? She just used magic on them. Mike just panicked because, his phone just turned into carrots and cabbages. Stella said not to worry, the spell will run out. Bloom says how awesome that spell was. Like, wow, she just turned the phone into carrots and cabbages. But Stella says Bloom is the one who is awesome. Like, Stella explains to them how Bloom used magic to help Stella. And Bloom says it's true. Like, she doesn't know how she did it. Also, as an Earth kid, how did she manage to do it? Like, Earth people don't use magic. And Stella says that Bloom is loaded with magic. She just didn't know how to use it. With a perfect guidance and perfect teaching, Bloom will know how to use magic in a school called Althea in the realm of magics. And Mike is worried about Bloom ending up in magics in a realm far away from them. So anyway, after Bloom and Stella and the others finished their breakfast, Bloom and Stella head towards the living room. It's Saturday, so they're going to watch their favorite shows. But since Stella is the guest here, Bloom's, let Stella choose what to watch. But since this is Earth, Stella doesn't know how TV works in this planet. And she doesn't know what channels are available in this planet either. She is from Solaria after all. Bloom apologizes and has an idea. They're going to watch stuff on Pop Girl. Just in case you don't know, Pop Girl is a channel from UK. If you're from UK, this is a treat for you. Pop Girl fans, here we go. But what will they be watching? They'll be watching Brace Face. And of course, I think Stella and Bloom would enjoy that. I obviously did as a kid, so, enjoy. So while Bloom and Stella watch Brace Face together, they each have a conversation together. So Stella asks what Bloom is going to do. Well, Bloom says that like her school will start on Monday, which is the 5th of September. She will be starting school then. So Bloom asks kindly and nicely towards Stella, how did she end up on Earth? And this is where we get deep. Like, why were these monsters after Stella? And we have this whole conversation right here. I do dislike that in the original, like, we don't know what happened to Stella. Like, how did she end up in Earth? We don't know anything about her. And this is the perfect opportunity for it. And I understand, like, in the original, we wouldn't have time to talk about this. Like, we got to speed things up and had to move on. But this is the right time to talk about, like, Stella's story. So this is the moment where I'm changing the script a bit. And I'm adding some story towards Stella, like how did she end up in here? So she explains to Bloom everything, and I will try to explain it like how I am right now. Like I'm not gonna make a story version of this. I'm gonna explain it. So these monsters are the ogre that they just saw, that was not, and the monsters that were with him were ghouls. They were sent by the tricks. If you don't know, in the original, we have the tricks, Icy, Darcy, and Stormy. And it's never revealed how these ghouls were created, but we do know that in the original, Icy, Darcy, and Stormy have whispering crystals, or vacuums, I guess. I'm gonna call it whispering crystals, rather. But this is how they summon these ghouls. They assisted not to help find and stalk Stella. They were after Stella, ever since. They were after the scepter from Stella, which can turn into a ring, and she can wear it in her finger. But the question is, how did she end up in Earth? She is in Solaria after all, and her school is in magic, and that doesn't happen of course, on Monday. That's where her school year will start. Year 7 in Althea Fairy School. So what they do know, the monsters entered Stella's castle. Her father wasn't around, and her mother is obviously not around. If you don't know, maybe you do. At this point, her father and her mother are separated. Her mother does not live in Solaria. I'm gonna create this new thing up. Um, she right now Luna, she lives in another planet. I'm gonna call it Lunaria. So radius is the king of Solaria, and Luna is a queen of Lunaria. And maybe there's a reason why Radius and Luna, split up. Maybe there's been more serious reasons for this. When Stella was the age of 4 or 5, this is where Luna and Radius would like split up, and Luna. I think this could be a political reason why they had to, because Luna needed to focus on protecting her planet Lunaria, which she is from, and Radius needed to protect Solaria from where he is from, and Luna and Radius had a spat about this. Like if there's many reasons why they could have, split up. Like maybe Luna doesn't think Radius is a good leader, or maybe Radius doesn't think Luna is a good leader, or there could be many reasons why they split up. And Luna explained that she can't always be in Solaria all the time. Maybe that's the reason why this has happened. And this is what something that Stella has been affected by. And just recently, this year, I guess when she was 10 years old and 11 years old, this is the year where Icy, Darcy, and Stormy were after Stella. They were tracking her ever since, and they believed that she had the ring of Solaria, and they were after that. And just recently, they managed to get a hold of her. However, Stella, she had no idea what to do. So she must have went to, in if you know, in season 3, there's this episode in, I think it's episode 2, when Bloom and Stella go to this kind of like a planetarium, and in this is how she probably would have ended up in Earth, and this is where she was assigned to this planet. Maybe not, and the girls were chasing after her all the way to this planetarium. Like she didn't know where to go. But then she was thinking, why if I go to this? And when she enters this planetarium, she sees this. She just thinks instinctively and she just presses the planet. She thought it was magic, but it wasn't magic. It was Earth. So this way, she ended up on Earth. You also need to know that her ring, it creates a portal, so she probably used that as well. You kind of have an idea of how Stella ended up on Earth. This is probably a way how she ended up on Earth. So yeah, so she's on Earth, and the ghouls and the nuts were after her at that point. And you also have to know that she probably fought a lot with these ghouls and not, and at that point that's why her energy was so low. And that's why Stella probably felt exhausted, because what she dealt with from Solaria and Earth. So that's her story. Also, I want to add stuff here. Some important ideas that I was thinking of. And we're not bringing this up yet, but we know the events that happened 16 years ago. There was a war on Domino. What if the events of Domino affected other planets? So we know that 16 years ago there was a war on Domino. I was thinking this is probably why certain planets are the way they are right now. And this could explain why there's a conflict between Stella's parents. Maybe they were affected by this war, 16 years ago. And they were traumatized by this, and maybe there was something that's happening in Solaria, and that could be similar as well. And maybe there's something that's happening in Lunaria. At least in my version of the rewrites, this is what's going to happen. So this would have caused like a paranoia or mistrust between Luna and Radius. Maybe they couldn't trust each other, and maybe there's more bigger reason for this. And maybe this is why they split up, and why Luna is living in Lunaria, focusing on Lunaria's things, and Radius is focusing on Solaria and focusing on Solarian things. And maybe this is how it affected other planets. Maybe this is why Heraklion is different nowadays. If you watch the second movie of Winx Club, I think there's something to do with that. I haven't watched it yet. It's been a long time. There was something to do with Arendelle and Blaine's parent Oratel. There was something happening between them, like which was affected. So Heraklion was affected by this. And what if this event also affected Melody? Maybe this event like caused the economy decline on this planet, and maybe this is why there was famine. There was devastation in this planet, and it affected some people that lived in Melody over time. And maybe this is why, like, people could have struggled and could have struggled to live. And maybe this is how it affected Misa's mother. Maybe this is why Zenith has gone cray cray with the technology. Maybe this is why Lymphia has gone cray cray with nature. And what if this caused a civil war on Andros? What if this caused a civil war between the land dwellers and the sea dwellers? And maybe that's the conflict. Maybe this is why Earth no longer has magic, because maybe Earth wasn't trusted to rely on magic. And, maybe the people on Earth turned on themselves because of this. So they got stripped away from this magic thing. Maybe the planet Ohm relied on peace because everyone was at war. They need to rely on themselves, be our sanctuary, our safe haven for everyone else. Or maybe oppositus, maybe that they chose to use the reverse unicode on themselves, and that's why they having opposite customs. So what I'm saying is, whatever happened in Domino could have affected other planets as well, and maybe this is why they are the way they are. Maybe this is why a lot of people are mistrusting witches nowadays, because the events that caused Domino was caused by a couple of old witches. And in the modern world, I think things are starting to develop. The world is trying to heal itself. Also, I want to give a reason why IC Darcy or Stormy are coming after Stella's ring. I think to them, they think the Stella's ring has ultimate power. They they don't realize yet that the Dragonfire has the ultimate power, and they thought the ring had it. Maybe they didn't have a thought that the ring had the Dragonfire, and that had the ultimate power. Because were they after the ring in the first place? Why did they never contact the ancestral witches, about why it doesn't have the Dragonfire? I think someone mentioned this in Wings Forever podcast. Like, how come they never researched their own things? And that episode where they got the ring, but they abandoned it. Maybe they thought like this ring is useless to them, and this is why they abandoned the ring, because they were like, "Oh, this is just a useless ring." So they were like craving for more power after that. Also, I'm going to have the tricks be similar ages to the wings. It's just to keep my brain sane, like why are they years older than them? And I feel like in the show they just feel like the same ages. That's just me how I feel about them. So after Stella gives out her story about how she ended up in Gardenia and everything else, Stella and Bloom sit back and still watch the show. And Bloom thinks about the things that Stella has said. After the show's over, Bloom and Stella go upstairs to Bloom's room. Stella wonders if she could spruce up the room a bit. With her magic, she can make Bloom's room look tidy and clean. And maybe she can help out cleaning up this whole house. With her magic, she does that. Vanessa and Mike are pleased for this. They both thank Stella. While Stella and Bloom are at the Bloom's room, it's going to be similar how it is in both Fockers and Cineloom. So, Stella's going to compliment Bloom's, artwork. They're going to talk about the book as well, and, Stella's going to convince about Bloom going to Althea. So that's going to happen. And Bloom needs to learn about her powers, and Althea Fairy School is a perfect place to learn about these things. If she connects with her Winx, she'll go far. Bloom doesn't have the confidence, but Stella says that because Bloom hasn't used her magic for so long, it's just rusty. Her powers still work. She just needs to learn about them. So I know that in the original Stella shows Bloom a postcard. I'm not gonna include that. Instead, we're gonna have Stella create a projection of her magics. Reason for this is because I don't think we ever see this bottomless postcard ever again. So why include this? And also, I know I love how in the Focus dub, Stella explains really good about how Magix is. But I think in this, I'm just going to explain stuff about Althea. I think it's important that Bloom learns about other things later on. Like we don't want to waste Bloom's time learning about the rest of the magics right at this moment. Um, she needs to learn about that later. All Bloom needs to know is what Althea is like, Althea Fairy School. So Stella explains it's run by Headmistress Faragonda. And we're going to change how Althea Fairy School is like. And yes, that's the name of the school I'm giving it. So in the West Wing, that's where all the classes will be. In the East Wing, this is where all the dorm rooms will be. Yeah. And also in the original, Althea seems to be a female-only school, but this time it's going to be co-ed, and we're gonna have male fairies, non-binary fairies, and female fairies. So the boys are going to be in the. Everyone's going to be in the East Wing. The boys are going to live more in the left side. The girls are going to be in the right side, and non-binaries are going to be in the middle, and that's perfect. We need to be inclusive to all types of fairies in the school. I won't explain what they will learn about in the school as well. Again, I'm going to explain this whole thing later on. I will create a separate episode for this. And Stella wonders if Beam is ready to learn about magics and Althea and her own powers. And Bloom, she's eager. She really wants to learn, and something part of Bloom is telling her she really needs to know about this because this thing is calling out to her for some reason. And so yes, Bloom accepts. So after Stella and Bloom's projection of Althea, they all head with Vanessa. They go to the shopping centers, and they're gonna go do some shopping because Stella just came to our Earth. Why wouldn't she not do some shopping with Bloom and Vanessa? And yes, she's gonna enjoy the rest of the whole day doing shopping with them. So they're going to enjoy themselves. So the episode ends with Stella, Beam, and Vanessa laughing, and and the camera pans towards the sky, finishing the episode. The end. I decided all the stuff about the troll will happen in the next episode. So I guess this is it. Thank you for watching. I guess you had enough of me rambling on. Stay tuned for next episode, and if you want to check out my previous episode. And if you want to, you can share your own ideas in the comments section down below. It's fun to when the fan is, they come up with ideas, and it's always better than the show. And of course, like the show is great and beautiful. I love the show ever since I was a kid. But it's nice to see fans, making their own changes, improving the show a bit. Yeah, it's really nice. Anyway, that's it. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and have a lovely day.